The secret of DMB playing Gilford, New Hampshire is officially out. And I could tell you all the parody jokes and mess around with you as much as I want. It won't do anything. The DMB post show stream starts now.
Oh, he doesn't have the bear. It may be fooling the way. He doesn't have, Jeff doesn't have the baritone, so it's not. Oh, yeah. I saw the Alpine the first time they played it as a full band. Oh,
but I need no reason but the game to play my cards at all. Come fill me up, fill me now when I'm tired. I feel emptied out. Rain down on me again and again. Rain down on me. I believe I see it now. Without the dark, there be no light. Without the light, there's only dark. I see
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Thank you. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz. Bayou Free, and the band stayed alive. Nashua, New Hampshire, what up? Tilton, New Hampshire, what up? Manchester, New Hampshire, what up? Shout out to Loudon. Shout out to Dover. Mount Washington, what up? Tingsboro, Massachusetts, what up? Shout out to Lowell, Massachusetts. Gilford, what up? Shout out to no sales taxes in New Hampshire. Shout out to the best roads in New England and New Hampshire. But don't come here for any concerts. Guilford is closed. There are no new visitors that can come. Lake Winnipesaukee, what up? Shout out to the Merrimack River. What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. I'm going to just make sure I take my headphones off so I can hear myself better without the audio. It is late at night here. I'm at the Hotel Motel Holiday Inn, so I just want to make sure I'm not too loud. But I'll say this. Something came up in my Facebook memories the other day about me and my brother being at Fenway Park for CC Sabathia's last game that we would see him pitch. And that game, CC for Yankees Red Sox pitched a great game. He was in literally the last year of his career. And that game was fun not because CC Sabathia was throwing 95 miles per hour. Some of his fastballs were 89 miles per hour. but he put every single baseball in a position in the strike zone or out of the strike zone so that he did not give up a major home run, or he didn't blow the game open, which is what Yankees Red Sox is about. It's about getting your starting pitcher to get them have the starting pitcher. If they do 5 innings, that's a miracle in some of the most contentious Yankees Red Sox games. There were pitchers who were much better than him that year. There were pitchers that had better velocity than him that year. What am I getting at? That CC Sabathia performance was strictly about not having lows, not having bathroom break innings where you wanted to go to the bathroom and punch a wall because he left a curveball hanging in the zone. He left a fastball the same. In a lot of DMB sets, not that they're horrible, because I still watch baseball and I still go to DMB shows, but this set felt like a 1999 All-Star Game moment set. Dreaming Tree wasn't played. The Stone wasn't played. Those are 2 songs that will change a set for me. But the lows were not that low. I'll be honest, I don't need as many Madman's eyes, but tonight it was fine. I actually enjoyed Madman, and in the moment of the show, it wasn't a bad moment for me. It kept energy. It raised the energy after Where Are You Going? When speaking of Where Are You Going, the low points in this show, I call them low points. They still were either quick or they weren't really that bad. In this show where it's actually the anniversary of the release of Busted Stuff that came out in 2002 on July 16th, 2002. But I mean, Where Are You Going in Madman's eyes? That was probably the lowest points. Now, some people don't like Let's Dance. Some may Dig in a Ditch. Some people don't like the slower pace, but I loved it. But the rest of the main set, there were no holes. There were no holes for someone like me who really wants sets like we got tonight. And again, my favorite song, The Stone, was not played. Dreaming Tree was not played. Two Step was not played. It didn't matter. It did not matter. They went classic song after classic song after classic song after classic song. And Walk Around the Moon, you could, here's the thing. I think Walking Around the Moon is more enjoyable than Madman's Eyes, and I like Dark DMB. Walk Around the Moon, to me, is still fine, and it's quick. And I love the acoustic guitar part that it was formed around, because a lot of stuff Dave makes now is based around other instruments, as he has the right to do, and as he has talented members of other instrument classes that are a part of this band. But this show just where was the low point? I told you, these are the two covers that I don't mind seeing. Let's Dance, which to me fits the tone and the candor and the style of Tim Reynolds so great. And there's a call and response. Da, da, da. You get space, no one playing, and then you get da, 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 and you get 10 parts that come in. That's what I like about it. There's space in between the two different parts there. And Just Breathe is just a song that, listen, man, I don't mind it in the E1. I don't mind it in the E1. I'm sick of Rye Whiskey. I know shout out to there's a father with, it looks like two of his children, a son and daughter, and what may be his wife. Again, I don't know. I didn't ask, and they wanted, his daughter wanted Rye Whiskey, but I'm sorry, I'm sick of Rye Whiskey. And I would have been happy for that child, man. That's what it's about, these kids, that come to these shows too, more than me. But I don't want Rye Whiskey. I don't want some other, I'm trying to even think of other ones. I don't want Singing from the Windows. I want an E1 like Just Breathe, a Dream Girl. I want something special. Some Devil the other night in Mansfield. And they closed with Gray Street, but at that point I'm like, listen, just don't play a clunker to close out the show. And I love Grace Street. I was singing at the top of my lungs. Let me take you guys back to how this show started, because I have seen, this is not my first weather delay, and if this weather delay, as crazy as the lightning was compared nothing to what I faced in Alpine, where there were like 5 tornadoes within 50 miles of where I was in the lots, waiting out that storm. That obviously the show got canceled, but we had to wait out the storm to go home. Every show I've been to this year has been extremely hot. Gilford was, it said 88 when I first arrived in the lots. It felt like 81. I went to Tampa. It was a scorcher in May. It's Florida. I went to Alpine night 1, scorcher. Just humid, that Midwest humidity. Same thing with the night 2 that got rescheduled. Same thing with both of the SPAC shows. Yet again, more heat. Thank you to my friends for making sure I had water, and I invested in the Gatorade version of Liquid IV. And then Mansfield, I was sweating as soon as I stepped out the car. This was the coolest show of a summer full of fire sets and fire temperatures. There was no 75-degree tailgate this year. That said, I saw a storm was coming, and I was like, oh, it looks like one of them light storms is going to pass through. Now, the weather delay ended up being 75 minutes. Shout out to the Almanac team that gave me those details as they were updating their website. I appreciate that, because it just gave me a better bearing on my gears of what was going on. Played Thursday. Would I extend my trip? I didn't have a hotel booked for Thursday. So what was I going to do? But a lot of stuff, I was like, oh no, here we are again. And I kid you not, my friends Jessica and Wayne came from Wisconsin. The last time I was with them, we had a tornado. This time I'm with them again. There's severe lightning. So I'm thinking about, even though they drove me to the show, I'm like, man, y'all are bringing the bad weather, every severe weather. So I was almost going to yell at them. But then the show did go on. Now, the severe weather signage stayed up throughout the entire delay of when the weather was bad. And then after that, the alert went off, and then people started cheering. And shortly after that, they let the lawn people in. For the weather delay, the lawn had to evacuate. Everyone in the pavilion could stay in the pavilion. But I want to give credit to Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion. I want to set aside my don't go the Gilford joke, because they're horrible. It's an inside joke for anyone who was getting upset. It's an inside. I'm not gatekeeping. It's just a joke. I mean, the staff is phenomenal here. Here's some of the things that was better than what Alpine did. And this is just general standard operating procedure. It's a 9,000 person venue. The first thing this venue did that was great is, at least in the lower level where I was, the lowest level of seats before you get to the pit, every person when they first came in got a wristband. And that wristband, or the thing they tied onto you, meant you could enter this lower level area of the venue. So if you as those were put on us as we were getting in the venue and getting to our seats before the actual alert of the weather delay. I was in there around 6 o'clock, so I got mine. I got to my seat around 6:15, 6:20, and I got that wristband. What that allowed is it allowed for everyone in certain areas to be identified. Here's my proof that I can go in the lower level, or here's my proof I can go in the pit, because the pit had wristbands. So when the weather delay was over, like many people, I went to go to the bathroom. Some people went to go get drinks. But they did a great job of evacuating the lawn effectively. They did a great job of having bracelet identification for the lower level seats and the pit. And so when everyone is coming back from the bathroom and the drinks and the food, You just had to go, what's up, my brother? No, I didn't say. But let's just say this is not the wristband they gave us. But if I had this on, right, I could just go like this and boom, I'm back in the venue. The lawn, we saw people cordially going back on the lawn. I can't speak for the reentry process, but the lawn seemed to just, they let everyone back in. They flowed in smoothly, and it was easy to get people back on the lawn. And so when the experience I had at Gilford, the experience I had at a non-Live Nation AXS show, Goose at the Westfield Music Bowl, I felt like this venue was more prepared to evacuate people in the lawn and have a system of wristbands. I would say if every amphitheater that can do it for the, at least for the Pavilion, maybe you go through a bunch of those. Listen, this is a 9,000 person venue, but even if they did this at just in the mid pavilion and lower pavilion, which maybe run to about a couple thousand wristbands, just having those wristbands, if it looks like weather's going to be bad, or even without it, even stage lights from the backlit stage lights come on, and the bangers, that's what I felt out of the gate. JTR Spoon recently, I think the recently jam was a little bit shorter, but here's the thing. If I'm coming off a rain delay, I don't care. You can cut with DMB, like when I go to a jam band show, I expect the jams to be long. DMB is a band that can actually have some jams with parameters. Their jams have parameters, right? And that's okay. They're not going to go too far off the script with the jam. And that, again, that's fine. But JTR Spoon recently, they just effectively played the songs and you still felt like you were fed. I wasn't like, I need 3 more minutes of Riesling. No, you did the stuff. You did the ba, 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 da, 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 da. They did all that and it was good. And I advocated for this. Someone's like, would you like a 20-minute seek up or something? It wasn't like DMB Family. And I'm like, no, I don't need a 20-minute seek up. Give me a great 15 to 18 minute seek up. The 2001 Epic Wailing seek up was 18 minutes and 40 something seconds. Yeah, it's close to 20 minutes, but just cutting off, when you cut the fat off of a DMB set list or off of a long form DMB performance, the songs in my opinion are better. And again, I love jam bands, but when DMB is focused and condenses their set, it's actually better. So JTR Spoon recently, Walk Around the Moon comes in as just like a, hey, here's one of the recent songs, was fine with it. Boa comes on. And I think this is the third Boa. Let me just check that real quick. I think this is the third Boa. You may not be able to see it because 7-6. What was 7-6? That was Mohegan. Saratoga Springs, and then 621 was, yeah, I've seen every Boa this year for the tour. So I just happened to be at Alpine. And I love this. There's a couple of these that Boa and The Last Stop were 2 songs that I saw at Alpine Night 1, SPAC, and Guilford. And it's just great to see how this song carries in the different venues. This song checks out. The walk down outro that started when I went to Mohegan, I think that was Mohegan 2021 or 2022, night 1. That was, it was 21. It was 2021, night 1. That walk down outro is beautiful. And by the way, Jeff Coffin on Spoon and Boa, just phenomenal. They gave Jeff Coffin, this is obviously his mother lives in New Hampshire. His late father his father's passed away. Rest in peace to his father. Like his father's been passed away, but his mother is obviously that's an important link. His last living parent lives here. This is like a little bit of a home stop for him, and they let him just get turned out and let him cook. I think Jeff Coffin cooking is a great thing, because I know people say, "Oh, he's not Leroy." I don't care. Get more saxophone. Get a 41 solo. having a saxophone, not an electric guitar. More Jeff Coffin, please and thank you. Not a knock on Tim either. Tim's amazing, but that sax solo in 41 needs to come back. Yes, I had the best show of the year, and I'm like, yo, bring back the 41. I will advocate for that forever until it comes back, like the third verse of Gray Street. Nonetheless, Boa comes in, and then I'm thinking maybe they have a granny. Maybe they let, like, Jeff, they let the horns just kind of chill out. Nope, they do busted stuff, rhyme and reason back to back. And again, Boa, busted stuff, rhyme and reason. So to me, this band can't just like charge through a wall for every song. Walk Around the Moon in some ways is just like a kind of a, all right, we're going to bring you to the modern era. Take us back. Boa, busted stuff, rhyme and reason. And then Stolen Away, while it's an older song, it's a slower song, and it gives everyone just a little bit of breathing room to kind of, again, check their heart rate. So Stolen Away comes in, and it's just beautiful. And, I've had different thoughts on Rashawn and him playing in high registers. Him playing on Stolen Away, to me, is phenomenal. Him playing on Rhyme and Reason and these type of songs, I like them more than Rashawn Ross on Crush. So this was what made this a great show. Everything I love about what Rashawn does, staying lower in the register, these were showcases of those songs. The highest he probably got was maybe Gray Street at the end, where he really gets up to the high end. And there was some other parts recently another, but like Spoon and like he was fine. And what I like to see from a trumpet, any trumpet playing in this band, not just Rashawn, but Rashawn is extremely talented, and shout out to him. But what the songs that they played highlight to me what the best of a trumpet is with Dave Matthews Band. And so Stolen Away, Where Are You Going? Again, probably, I would say Where Are You Going is probably the lowest point of the show. And it's still, like, that's the most mainstream hit. Gray Street's there too, but Where Are You Going? That really got a lot of people back in the day. And then Madman's comes after that, but I didn't mind Madman's, and I enjoyed Buddy's intro to Madman's. Nikki G says Walk Around the Moon is becoming that song. Love it. Shout out to Nikki G. I met his girlfriend for the first time, Nikki G. I was like, okay, I see you. I know they've been dating for a little bit. Shout out to Nikki G and his girl. And so then after Madman's Eyes, I'm like, okay, what's next? They play Sugar Will. And here's the thing. What I love about this Gilford crowd, again, don't go to Gilford. It's horrible. It's worse than Camden, New Jersey. And not saying a lot. Not, again, it's a joke, guys. Relax. Some people didn't get it in the Gilford thread. Why are people gatekeeping? Chill. We're joking. Sugar Will comes out. And what I loved about Sugar Will, the people who wasn't really rocking with Sugar Will or didn't know what it was, or just like, guess what they did, at least around me? They shut up. They were quiet. So I'm just speaking from where I was. You guys saw the video in the intro. That's where I was last night. The people who weren't really rocking with it, they went to the bathroom. Cool. That's all cool. You can, if you don't like a song, I'm not stopping you from not liking a song, but don't talk during it. People went to the bathroom, or they were respectful and quiet, or they checked their DMs, seeing who was hollering at them. Okay. And I just thoroughly enjoyed Sugar Will in the song and just the freestyle. It's one of those songs you don't know what Dave's actually gonna say per se with the lyrics. He may add in a couple splices and dices. It's gotten a little bit to a formulation in this current Buddy era, or I would say since 2016 when it came back. This is a song, Sugar Will, where again Tim Reynolds cooks. Tim Reynolds just does his thing, and his tone is perfect for it. Tim's tone is perfect. He just gets in, and he wasn't too loud. At least I was on the horn side, so maybe that was just my sound, but he was cooking. Sugar Will that was made for Tim. And I say this as someone who's recently since the pandemic, been to 2 TR3 shows, right? Sugar Will was meant for the way Tim Reynolds' tone and guitar playing is. Then we get PNP and the Pig. Patrick O'Brien's on here. Shout out to Patrick. I had that Utica tomato pie or Utica pizza pie, whatever it is, where it's just the pizza and the sauce. Very reminiscent of Chicago deep dish, but I don't like the deep dish crush. I think the Utica thing is better than Chicago deep dish or Chicago casserole. But I love Chicago casserole too. Shout out to everyone in Chi-Town. Shout out Chirac. I loved Patrick literally came to our tailgate and handed us a pizza from Utica from his way here. Just a phenomenal dude. Just have to say, shout out Patrick for that. Anyway, PNP and the Pig, just again, a moment that was just, they still have more bullets in the chamber. Because what happens now is, and this isn't a bad thing per se, this is just, the set tonight was just phenomenal. And I hope more people, I hope Camden is even better than tonight. I'm not a hater. I want everyone to get this stuff. Every 2-night stand from here forward for this year, 3-night stand at the Gorge should get a full last stop. They should play it at Camden too. I'm not trying to say, nah, I want this to be the littest show of the year. I just want a good show. And then I want the shows after that to be good shows. Then I want them to build on the show after the show after the show and make even more magic out west. And so PNP and the Pig, and then anyone seen the bridge into Too Much versus the So Much Bridge Too Much. I personally think something like this, just taking out So Much to Say, and it was on the set list. It was physically on the set list. I don't know when the set list was made. It looked like the set list was made before the storm actually hit, and because they added JTR on. But anyone seen the bridge Too Much was fire. So Much to Say bridge Too Much is it takes up too much time. In my opinion, it's fun to see. If someone is seeing it for the first time, I'm sure they have a ball. But as someone who goes to as many concerts as I go to, as many of you guys who now have 15, 20 years down, where you've seen this a lot, even more than me, a simple subtraction, you don't even have to add anything in its place. A simple subtraction is magical. This is like, I remember when I was in my early 20s, and this isn't to like flex on anyone, but I had to learn this. I had to cut people out of my life. Like, nah, bro, you're having, like, you're a grown man. You're 4 years older than me, and you don't know how to let go of your toxic friends. We can't hang. I gave you a chance. I had empathy and sympathy and understand people grow, but you're not growing enough. Bro, we not hanging out. Like, I felt like I broke up with one of my friends when I was in my early 20s. Like, sorry, we can't even be friends. Not let's be friends. Nah, we can't chill. And just subtracting that one friend, even though I wish them the best, and I still wish him the best. Subtracting that friend and the negative energy and the always drama he had with other friends that he hung out with made life better. And So Much to Say being cut, and you have anyone seen the bridge Too Much, you could play So Much to Say something in another show and don't do bridge Too Much. That simple adjustment made the show even better. When Pig is over and you, little baby, that was like okay. And then Ditch comes in, and here's the thing. My favorite part of Ditch, and I haven't gotten it that much in my what, I've been going like 12 years of going to shows. My favorite part is towards the end, where it's like they play the regular stuff and then they go ba 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 and they stop. But I love that song, and it's so relevant. Unplug your TV, turn off your phone, all the stuff in the world right now. I'm not saying you shouldn't care, you shouldn't fight for what you believe in. But sometimes even Concert Viz 34, I got to unplug the TV, turn off the phone, and say, how can I go out into my community and just talk to people and mentor people and help people? And how can I listen to people and get advice from people and talk to other people that have been in my shoes? Which is what I do a lot of. Right? Before Mansfield, I just hung with my grandparents. Before Mansfield, I worked I worked and then I hung with my grandparents and then I went to Mansfield. But I just was picking their brain. They was giving me gems, talking and stuff. So that song is, to me, hits different in this crazy world. I mean, the world's always been crazy, but like right now where we're at. Then Let's Dance. Again, I talked about that. Tim works great for that. And So Damn Lucky. Again, maybe that's another low point for some people. I don't need it ever again, but I don't mind it because what happened was, I know they cut Black and Bluebird. So Damn Lucky kept the momentum of the overall crowd. And I'm well aware, I have the self-awareness to understand, while I'm not a huge fan of the song being played so many times in a tour, it is a moment for the band to express their gratitude towards us, and is a moment where many people appreciate this song. And then we get The Last Stop. I mean, that's the one song, like, this thing, I really couldn't predict what's coming. You know, you can see Dave go to the drop D standard, and then you have the flying V, and it could be another song, right? It's not always Don't Drink, but pretty much you can tell. You can hear a note that Tim plays, all right, they're in that key, is Don't Drink. They didn't do guitar changes. They didn't have a baritone pop up. And listen, I would have loved ABI, but it didn't matter. Dave was sticking with his standard acoustic or his 12-string standard tuning acoustic. That's really what he was sticking with for most of the show. And then The Last Stop, he gets that half step down, 12-string guitar, and I pretty much, it's going to be The Last Stop. I knew it with this tour. Perhaps there's other songs that are played on it, some of the rarity deep cuts, but I haven't heard them enough to know, okay, it's that song, it's Kit Kat, it's this. And I think there may be only one song, if that could possibly even be played on a E flat tuned 12-string. But that Last Stop, to me, Last Stop is Song of the Year. Now, again, there were always better songs than The Last Stop, in my opinion, that you could pick out that haven't been played. They need to be liberated. But Last Stop is the ABI of this year. Why? Because not the fact that it hasn't been played. It has been played, but it had been half stopped. And for whatever reason, whether it was stamina, whether it was just Dave's like, I don't really feel like learning or executing this with this band, taking practice time away, they weren't finishing it for some years. I think it was 2018 was the last time they had done the full stop. They do that Last Stop, and it's just, again, this is the third time but imagine having that problem. This is the third Last Stop I've heard in the last 2 months. That's a great problem to have. This is the second Spoon I've gotten. This is the second JTR I've gotten in the last month. This is the third BOA I've gotten of this tour. Those are great problems to have. Man, I heard another Busted Stuff again. I heard it last year a couple of times. Man, I heard another Rhyme and Reason. I just heard it in spec. These are great issues to have. And I don't care. Like, some people are like, oh, is the band making too many mistakes? Are they tired? I don't care. Play these songs. Cut some of the long form jams we don't need. I don't need I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. I don't need Crush. Crush needs to be demolished and it needs to be gentrified. I'm sorry. That's probably a bad metaphor. But Crush is like the abandoned bandos in Camden, New Jersey, or even in Hartford, Connecticut. They need to be rebuilt for the community. Now, not the average fan that comes in and loves the song and, oh my gosh. But for fans like me and you who go to a bunch of shows and just want something just slightly different, you can play the song. Just add a little pizzazz to it. Put some seasoning in the potato salad. Put some seasoning on the chicken. That's really what I feel about Crush. And you know what they did in Sugar Will? The Sugar Will horn at the end were different. They didn't do the da 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 da, which I love. Da 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 da. Tim ripping, Tim skirting, Tim skirt. Like, I love that, but they did it different. And Crush is in a desperate extreme makeover home edition need. It is it is as predictable as whoever is viral and then blows all the money, and then they blow their fame and they're desperate and sad and pathetic, going down bad. It is as predictable as the Hollywood actress that says, you know, I'm graduating from my divorce and I don't need this and I'm so happy to be free. And then 3 months later, they're like, where are all the good men at? It's just as predictable as that. Crush needs a makeover. And the fact that it wasn't played tonight, that's what, 12, 13, 14. I don't even know how long Crush is. It just feels long enough. And this show didn't have many long form stuff. It had a bunch of just great songs that were, 3 to 8 minutes long. And they all were awesome. 19 songs played. I wasn't thinking that there were only 9. They've been playing 19 anyway. But I didn't even think about that. I just thought, okay, I'm on this awesome journey, and more songs that are played, the more I'm realizing how special this show is. What else happened? Jackson said, "Why you mad, brother? I'm sick of like some of this stuff. Like, for real, Crush does not need to be 45 minutes. Like, just play it for 8 minutes, or just like ramp up stuff. Anyway, let's be positive, because this was a crazy show, crazy good show, and I'm just thankful this band can have a night like this in the middle of the week. These midweek shows have been great. Blossom has been great. DTE was great. Gilford has been great. Some of these midweek shows have been low key. Like, this show tonight was better than both SPAC shows. It was. And I was at those shows. So if you took off midweek time for Gilford and you couldn't make SPAC, or you got denied by the warehouse for SPAC, or you couldn't get Ticketmaster for SPAC, brother, you got a show better than either SPAC show head to head. And if you were in the lawn at Gilford compared to the lawn at SPAC, what a difference of like the complete day and night. The lawn in Gilford is amazing. It's not now, again, you're still in a lawn. You got to get there early if you want to be up front, but it's still so much closer. Anyway, don't go to Gilford. It's trash. All right, let's talk poster. Another meh thing. Meh thing. I thought this was a above average methane poster. Like, when we're looking at all the posters they had. Let's see if I can get to that poster. Methane. That's what I should say. Methane. Thought it was cool. I didn't get it, but I think that this one was a little above average. There were some people who said it was alright. Some people who said it's the same old for methane. But this show was so good, I forgot about the poster and that it was a methane. But this is, to me, a little better than some of the other designs. I think the best methane this year has been the Deer Creek Night 1 poster that they had. That's the best of the best. That's going to be the one poster that retains its value in the poster market. The rest of those methanes are going to go down because there's been 50 other posters with the same idea. And that's okay. I mean, listen, they've made a lot of posters. I'm not saying their job is easy. I just think that they need to have a reduced load because they've had their time with DMB. Go make posters for some other bands, and then you can have those new creative juices and let F4D Studios, let some of the other people take in. But that's just how I feel. And the band, to its credit, they seem to be allowing more opportunities for F4D and some other artists. More independent local artists are getting love. And so that's good. But that's the poster. What else? One thing, let me see if I can pull up. I'm going to send myself a picture so you guys can see exactly what I'm going to be talking about here. And this is just when you go to Gilford, one thing you're going to notice is that the screens are lower. So let me just get this over. You guys can see this. Oops, it came out over here. So let me just show you. Let me take the poster off and show you what I mean. But this stage is really, it feels like a minor league stage. So if you guys look right there, I'm glad the lighting fixture, the top lighting was able to be there, because I think that's really cool. I don't know why I like that. I love how it lights up different colors. And it's like the octagon or hexagon. It's hexagon. There's 6 sides, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the hexagon type circles, and then the half hexagon. I love how those colors change and the bars across. But they only had one stage or one story of a screen, and really was one screen. They did not have the moving screens that have pretty much been at the majority of the venues I've seen video of or I've been to this year, where those videos rise up during songs. They didn't have that, but I love how they had the top lighting there. Shout out to Fenton, all he does with the lighting over there. Phenomenal job, and I love what this setup this year. I hope I would love to even see it next year, those top lightings again. But if you go to Gilford, it's going to be the lowest stage that I've seen on tour. And there's not, every year that I've been to Gilford, there's been some of the stage screens or lighting is a little bit reduced. But in return, you get such a more intimate feeling if you're able to get a seat up close. Further back, you still just, it's still a small barn or small shed. But remember, don't go to Gilford. So that's one observation that I always love to see what they do at Gilford. And that's actually one of the pros that some of the venues, like some of the newer generic Live Nation venues, maybe it's a midweek, like a Tampa, they can do more with that stage, the way it's set up, than even like an Alpine stage is an older stage. Deer Creek is older. And sometimes the gadgets and doodads that they have don't move or do have as much function. The other thing I wanted to talk about, a couple of just housekeeping things. If I still feel, like I said, I'm almost done with doing the post-show streams for July, and I get a month off. I want to have a video, and this is just more for educational purposes. Many of you guys already know this, but it seems like people are very impatient right now with the taper audio, and they're very lazy. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Y'all lazy. And with that, though, I'm going to try to get some people in to talk, and we'll make a video. It may not be it's probably not going to be a live stream, but I want you guys to understand the challenges of taper audio going up. And today there was a massive dump by the awesome taper community on a Dreaming Tree. Dreaming Tree was actually down yesterday. But I just want people to understand, like, the DMB Hub was a great creation because it gave access to the band's recent live catalog in a way that prior to that was not as easily accessible, especially for the older fans or the tech illiterate fans. There's a lot of OG fans and a lot of veteran fans that were taping and found ways, BNP, blanks and postage, they were doing all that stuff, and they learned how to get torrents. But there were fans who were more mainstream. They would see DMB once a year, maybe if that, but they listened to DMB a lot, and they started building up their tours, their show counts and stuff like that over the years, but they never learned how to download torrents. So they have the DMB Hub now, and they're on there and they love it and it's great. But hey, when's the next show coming up? Again, this is more something you should spread to other people, or say, hey, this timestamp this right here, and say, hey, this is what you need to understand. Because it is getting, and again, it's the majority of people I think understand. It's just there's newer fans or lesser educated fans that need to be educated. And listen, when I came into this fan base, I learned so much so quick. I appreciate many of you guys who talked to me and educated me. Like, bro, you like, I know you said that on your stream, that's your opinion, but here's boom, boom, boom. I remember Greg H. I just saw him yesterday in Groton. I remember him saying, like, listen, just because you haven't been to these venues doesn't mean you can just play or hate on the sets. And he was so right. When I started going to Deer Creek, and I'm saying, not too long ago, I was a fan that was just understanding what taper audio was 12 years ago. Before that, it was all Pandora and other stuff, mixed CDs. But there's a need for people to understand and be patient with the taper community, because right now there are shows where my boy Zach is flying out to Arizona, flying out to Vegas on a whim after working crazy hours at his regular job, just so these things can be taped. And people are, when's this coming out? When is the next taper? And again, you may not understand, like, you may be used to streaming services, and I get it. Live Fish, you have Nugs, that stuff comes out fairly quickly. But with DMB, as far as what the decision has been made, whether it's management, whether it's the band, right now we do not have everything on Nugs. And as much as I would love that, it is what it is, and this band gives us a lot. And so, that said, we have to be patient. Please be patient with these tapers. And really, many of you guys know this. Pass this along. If you see a thread, and try to do it with love. But listen, people are being lazy and impatient. All you need to get torrents is a basic PC. It could be 10 years old. You can still get torrents. And you need the storage space, because some of your hard drives that y'all may have it full, right? And there's directions on how to do it. And if you can figure out how to book a vacation with 5 or 7 DMB shows, and you have a road trip planned out, like many of you guys do, you can be patient, wait for the taper audio, and then download it that way, if it's not on the hub. But I'm hoping to get some. I'm hoping that, and during this DMB break, that I'll be able to get that video out, because I have been fortunate enough to have conversations and meet so many of the tapers and the Almanac crew. I've been very blessed. They've welcomed me with open arms as I began to do the multi-cams and do other stuff and do this post show. And many of them, again, I would not be where I was. I would not know what I know without them. But listen, they're working hard, and they have families. And they're in a different part of their life. Many of these people started out and they were 20, 21. Henry Hart, who's part of the Almanac, I've had him on here. He started out out of college, a lot of free time, and listened to hundreds of shows and wrote down notes for those shows that are now part of the Almanac. That's not his life right now. I won't go into, he can tell his own story. But just think about, if you have, 20 years ago, you were just out of college, and now you got 3 kids, and 2 of them in college. The last one's in high school. You're trying to do those final college applications and financial aid. And even with that, even when they get out, you got to deal with your mama sick, your daddy's sick, your uncle passed away, and you're the last of kin because he didn't have any kids. And how do you handle his estate and sell off all this stuff because it's just a bunch of junk you don't need? R.I.P. to uncle, but that's what a lot of people are facing right now who run these platforms. So if something is not up on the hub, and it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks, maybe the 2-week rule has passed. Guys, be patient. Tell your friends, be patient. You see someone in the street, they're mad. Tell them, be patient. And at the bare minimum, Jordan Norris has videos on YouTube. The Couch Tour, yeah, maybe these aren't like you want the taper audio, But the Couch Shore has stuff. Jordan Norris shoots a lot of full videos front to back. You can watch them there. I have the Tampa multi. Like those things may take longer, but I have all the audio from the whole Mansfield video. I have on a playlist in chunks. Yeah, it's in chunks. You got to stop. Maybe you got to listen to some ads and then go on. But it's all there because I understand. I want to do everything possible. And I'm in a different, I'm 10, 15 years younger than a lot of the people that are running these sites. So I just got married. I still have a little bit of time, right? I don't have 5 kids running around the house. I ain't gonna ever have 5 kids. No, sir, not me. But, and I love kids, right? I was hanging out with Jessica and Wayne's kids, and I hung out with them in Wisconsin. I love working with children. I ain't having 5 kids. I know too much about, volunteering with these kids and teaching their Sunday school. No 5 kids for me. But nonetheless, like these people's lives, like they don't get paid. None of us get paid to have this DMB content, and it's really, in the large scheme of things, outside of Copperpot and even his views. Like if you look at like other genres of YouTube that get billions of views, DMB videos and websites, they're not like, you're losing money. Trust me, I know. You're losing money. You're not. And why should we make money? This is a hobby, sharing the band we love. We shouldn't make money off this. I mean, if y'all want to get me a apple pie, or actually, be careful. Don't buy me food. You want to buy me a drink in the venue, a water, a snack in the venue, by all means. Hey, I'll take it. You want to do that for a taper? That's cool too. But this stuff, we're investing tons of money in this stuff. To get these videos out, I gladly do it, man. This is fun. This is worth every dollar to me. But anyway, I know I've been on now we're over an hour, and this is supposed to be a positive show. But there's so much going on in this fan base and in the world, but in this fan base, and some of it is trivial, and some of it is only 1 or 2 people. It's not everybody, but I feel like knowledge is power. Understanding self-awareness is power in this fan base. That said, what I will say yet again, this is just lots of gratitude for all you guys. I saw some of you guys today. I saw some of you at SPAC. Maybe you guys said, hey, I'm so-and-so. And like, I'm trying to remember everyone's name. But I really appreciate when you got people coming up saying what's up, chatting about the band. I'm just a fan. I don't play any instrument. Well, I do, but that's at church. And I'm not close to a professional musician level. I'll just keep it a buck. I'm just a fan. Right? I'm just a fan, but I appreciate you guys supporting this channel, whether it's the post-show stream or the YouTube videos. I'm glad that many of you guys feel like you guys, whether you agree, fully disagree, whatever, you enjoy this content. My goal was to pick up and have something like this. The Ants crew did a phenomenal job with their podcast and having that type of community interaction. They just don't have the time anymore to do those live podcasts and all that stuff. And I thought, hey, this is, there's other people, Gray Street, there's other great platforms that do their wrap-ups, but I figured, hey, let me do this thing after every show. Let's talk. Let me hear from, if I'm not at the show, let me hear from you guys. But I'm just still humbled and thankful for all the support. Again, I just was a fan who said, let me go live. And I learned so much from you guys, talking to you guys about the shows and all this stuff. I learned a lot because, again, I just came in. I got drafted, a decade after Allen Iverson. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like that, what is that? Andre Iguodala, right? He came in and AI was older. But he carried on for the Sixers. He carried them to some playoff runs after AI retired. Drew Holiday, that's what I am. I'm coming out. I started recording videos 10 years ago, 11 years ago. versus people who have been doing this for 20 something plus years, and they're like, I'm exhausted. Or, I don't even have the content to give the Copper. Like people who used to give Copper Pot these A1 videos, they're just, like I remember Aerofan. He used to do a lot of the New England stuff. Like, hey, other things happen. They're not as many shows. That's fine. Like, they've done the work. But I just appreciate the support from both everyone I see at the shows and then many of the cornerstones of this community that show that love to me at shows or outside of shows. It means a lot when I'm spending a lot of time trying to get this stuff ready. Anyway, let me stop being sentimental. Setlist. Let's go to the set list. My friend, and shout out to Rab, he really does what he can for these kids and for these families. And he saw my friend Jess tonight. She was on the aisle. Her 2 kids and husband were there. Wayne was there, and gave them this set list. And Jess was emotional. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, Jess was so happy, and the kids were so happy to get something. And so I think Rab does a great job of just really this simple piece of paper, whether it's someone's favorite show or it's a alright show. Just getting a piece of paper like this is magical. He was giving out pics to other kids. And it's great to see like the next generation of DMB fans. Many of these kids are under 16 years old. Some DMB fans, some of the first generation of DMB fans, their kids are going to college now. And some of them have even graduated college. Like the first gen DMB fans going to those frat parties and Virginia and North Carolina, like their kids, some of them, if they had some of them kids early, right? Because I was one when the band came out, so I'm not a DMB second gen. I was born like a year before the band formed. Nonetheless, it's really cool to see this. And then we had some fun here. Let me play this real quick. This was my reaction to the show in the car.
For the post-show stream will come. It's 11:49 right now. I don't know when we'll get back, but you guys want to stay tuned. This show was phenomenal. I think it was show of the summer so far, and I'll talk more about that in the post-show stream.
Uncle Concert Fizz.
Yeah.
Are they gonna play Bayou tomorrow? What are you made?
Guys, let's focus. I don't know, but that's not the point.
Know.
Anyway, the post-show stream will be tonight at some point, and if you can't make it tonight, watch it early in the morning. I got to talk to them about you and May and Bayou and
But what about you and me?
No.
That was a lot of fun. And shout out to Jess and Wayne. They were like, yeah, the kids could be in this skit, right? Yeah, so that's the set list. All right, that's it, man. I need to get some sleep. Oh, man. I feel like Dave when he's like, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to try to check in with Emma to see, because what you will see in this video, I'm going to put the link in the description. We had a phenomenal event on day 0, and there was local businesses. I supported a pizza place, like a pizza pop-up place, and then obviously Wine on Main. We went out there, had a taste wine sampling. I only had like one small sample, man. I was like, but it was cool. It was great wine. And then I picked up some ice cream from down the street, and then we heard some music, and the music was phenomenal from a DMB fan who played Black and Bluebird and some other deeper cuts. But we heard that the other day. That's Kevin Horan Music, a local Southern New Hampshire musician who learned really guitar from Dave Matthews. And he played some Dave stuff. He had a cut time Why I Am verse, and then he did the other verses regular, like in regular time. So it was some cool stuff. But the other thing was we raised money to help animals. We raised money to help animals in New Hampshire who, need to find forever homes. So that the Animal Rescue League of New Hampshire, I put money in for a poster. I did not get the poster despite my raffle tickets, but other fans won posters, and all the proceeds went to the new Animal Rescue League of New Hampshire. So I'll check in with Emma, who owns Wine on Main, to see what the final amount was that got over to the Animal Rescue League of New Hampshire, which is a great cause to help these animals. All right, let's close out with Spoon. I'm gonna close out with Spoon. Thank you guys for the support. I'm gonna get some sleep. It's 2:38 a.m. Eastern. Peace.
Hello, it's very nice to be with y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
It could be Spoon. Soprano. Is that a standard?
unbelievable.